Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to start a new series of videos. I'm going to brush up on JavaScript myself, so I decided to do the freeCodeCamp curriculum. For you who don't know, freeCodeCamp is a great online resource for learning web development. They have centered everything around JavaScript, but you learn JavaScript for front-end and back-end, also some other front-end technologies. Um, so if you don't know, check out freeCodeCamp. It's free and it's amazing. You should also consider donating to them. So today I'm just going to start with their basic JavaScript, and I'm going to solve all the exercises in the freeCodeCamp curriculum. The best thing you can do is to go and try solve these exercises yourself, and then you can come here and maybe compare your solution to mine. Okay, so let's get started. So the first exercise is about writing comments. So comments are just lines of code that JavaScript will intentionally ignore. You usually put on comments to clarify what that piece of code is doing. So in the first exercise, we just need to write two types of comments. One is an inline comment. First inline comment. Let me try maybe make this bigger. Yes, this is better. And the second one is a multi-line comment. Multi-line comment. As you can see, the syntax for the single line is two slashes, and for a multi-line is a slash with a star, and it should be ended with a star slash again. Okay, so you can run the code in the browser with Control Enter, or maybe click Run the tests here. Let's try this one. Okay, we are done with the first one. Let's continue with the second exercise. Okay, so we need to declare JavaScript variables. For this exercise, we need to use the var keyword to create a variable called myname. Okay, let's do this. Var myname. And you should end it with a semicolon. Make sure to read all the explanation in the freeCodeCamp website when you do these exercises. Okay, let's enter this. Okay, that's it. Let's continue with the next one. These are really nice and easy for beginners. Okay, so in this exercise, we need to assign a value to a variable a, and then assign the contents of a to variable b. Okay, now we need to assign the value 7 to variable a, so let's do this. Since we have declared a here with the var keyword, we can just reassign the value for a right here. And then let's do b equals to a. Make sure to finish everything with a semicolon. Okay, that's about it. Let's continue with an you should consider donating. I'm just going to say ask later. Okay, so in this exercise, we need to define a variable a and initialize it to the value of 9. Okay, so var a equals to 9. So we declared it with var and we initialized it with the value 9 and closed everything with a semicolon. Let's hit enter. Okay. Now, maybe I should make this a little bit bigger for people who are watching from the phone or something like that. Okay, so in this exercise, we need to initialize the three variables a, b, and c with 5, 10, and IMA. So IMA is going to be a string. Okay, so you see that the variables are declared here, but we need to initialize them. So a should be initialized as 5, b should be initialized as 10, and c should be initialized as IMA. Okay, pretty easy. Okay, let's continue with the next one. So we need to modify the declarations and assignments so their names use camel case. So in JavaScript is the best practice to use camel case, which means you can start with a small letter, with a lowercase, sorry. So then write the entire word in lowercase, and then when you start a second word, you can start with an uppercase letter, but you continue writing the word with lowercase. And as always, when you want to write a new word, just write it with an uppercase. Okay, so this should be the camel case version of this variable name. Okay, so this is correct. Let's write this as well, title case over. Okay, also now with these assignments, let's do this. So let's write this with lowercase, TUD. To be honest, I don't know the meaning of this word, so I am not sure if I'm writing them correctly. Let's try and test this. Proper camel case. Okay, and this needs to be lowercase. Case. Okay. Let's try this. Maybe I'm not sure about this word, this part. So this should be lowercase. Also this. Let's try and run it. Ah, okay. So it's like this. Okay, let's run this again. Okay. Now we need to perform the operation of adding two numbers. Okay, so we have this here. We have declared this variable sum, which is the sum of 10 and 0. We need to change the 0 so that the sum will equal 20. So let's change the 0 into a 10, and that should have done it. Okay, let's continue. So now we can also do subtractions, of course, in JavaScript. So in this case, we need to change the 0 so that the difference is 12. So this should be 33, if my math is correct. Okay, that was it. Now, we should perform a multiplication. So to do the multiplication, as you see, you just declare a variable product, and you can use this star operator for multiplication. Okay, we need to change the 0 so that the product is 80, so maybe make this 10. Let's run this. Okay, now we need to divide the numbers, so we use this slash operator for division. Okay, we need to change the quotient and make it 33 so that this so with the quotient is 2, so we need to make this 0.33. Let's run this. Okay, now incrementing a number. So incrementing means just adding 1 to the number. So we can use this plus plus operator in JavaScript. this plus plus operator is equivalent to adding 1. So we have this line of code here. What this is doing is to the myvar variable, which is 87, is adding 1 and then reassigning the new value, which should be 88, to myvar. This can be written as using the plus plus operator. So it's just shorthand for that line of code. Okay, nothing fancy. Okay, nice. Let's continue with the next one. So how to decrement a number? So if plus plus was for incrementing, minus minus is for decrementing. So again, this part here we can substitute it with the shorthand, which would be like this. Okay, nice and easy. Now, create decimal numbers with JavaScript. Okay, for example, these decimal numbers are referred in programming languages as floating point numbers or floats. So now we need to declare a variable myDecimal and give it a decimal value with a fractional part, which is, for example, 5.7. Okay, so we just declare this myDecimal, the same as in the example above. Let's make this again 5.7 and run this. Okay. Now, let's try to multiply two decimals with JavaScript. So again, we have the product with a star operator. We need to change 0.0 so that the product will be equal to 5.0. So this should be 2.5. Okay, let's do this. Okay, now we need to divide one decimal by another with JavaScript. So we have we need to change the 0.0 here so that the quotient should be 2.2. Okay, so this should be 4.4 because 4.4 divided by 2.0 gives us 2.2. Okay, let's run this. Okay, let's go to the next one. Finding a remainder. So we are going to use this modulo operator. What does this do? For example, 17 modulo 2 gives us 1 because 1 is the remainder in this division. 17 modulo 2 is 5 with the remainder 1. Sorry, 6 with sorry, 8 with the remainder of 1 because 8 times 2 is 16 plus 1 the remainder, this is 17. Okay, so we need to set this remainder equal to the remainder variable here equal to the remainder of 11 divided by 3. Okay, so we're going to use the modulo operator. This is going to be 11 modulo 3. Okay, let's run this. Nice. Let's continue. Now, compound assignment with augmented addition. Okay, so what we talked about when we were doing the incrementing. So we reassign to a variable. So first we take the value from a variable, we add something to it, and then reassign it to that variable. This is what we are doing right here. So a is initialized as 3. So we are adding 12 to 3, which will be 15, and now we are reassigning a and making it 15. Okay. This is how we do it in JavaScript, but there's also a shorthand notation, like there was one for incrementing. So this is going to be using plus equals. Okay, so this part here can be rewritten in shorthand with like this. Okay, so it's the same. It does the same thing. So the same here, plus equal. Sorry, need to do the same here. Okay, let's run this. Okay, let's continue. So the same as we did with adding, we can do with subtraction. So it is going to be minus equal. So we can rewrite this as minus equals 6, this as minus equals 15, and this as minus equal 1. Okay, let's continue. The same thing for multiplication. So we're going to write this star equal, and this, sorry, we should remove the b here, star equal, and the same here, star equal. Okay, this should do it. Okay, let's go to the next one. Again, the same thing, but for division. Okay, let's do this. So again, as always, this is shorthand for a is equal to a divided by 12. Let's continue. Oh, now we are going to declare a variable which contains a string. And we need to create two new string variables, my first name and my last name, and assign them to our first and last name. So let's try this. This name is equal to, I'm not going to put my real name down. This autocomplete is not okay, and my last name equals to Smith. Okay, so this is how you assign a string variable. Okay, oh, let's not forget the var. Sorry, I'm used to Python where you don't have something like var. Okay, let's so what we have done here, we have initialized two variables, one my first name and the second is called my last name, and each holds a string. Let's run this. Okay, now escaping literal quotes in strings. Okay, so why do we need something like this? When you are writing a string, you put everything, you put characters in between quotes. But what happens if you want, for example, to use, if you are putting a string which has also literal quotes inside? So for that, to use the quotes, like for example in this string here, if we want to use the quotes inside the string, we need to escape them. Okay? So to do that, we use the backslashes. Let's copy this. As you can see, JavaScript tells us we have something going wrong here. So if we escape the quotes inside, the ones we want to show, using backslashes, everything should be fine. Okay, so always to escape a character, you use the backslash in JavaScript strings. Let's run this. Okay, nice. Now, let's continue. So, quoting strings with single quotes. So the thing is that in JavaScript you can write strings with single or double quotes. So as long as you just start and end with the same type of quote. Okay, so if you start with single quotes, you need to end that string with single quotes. If you start with the double quotes, you need to end with double quotes. Okay, what we have to do in this case, we need to change the provided string with single quotes at the beginning and the end, and no escape characters. Okay, change the outer quotes to single quotes so that you can remove So the outer quotes need to be single quotes. Okay. So if we are using a single outer quotes, then we don't need to escape the double quotes here. Okay. So we can remove the escape characters and let's try to run it. Okay, now escape sequences. So this is for so usually, as I said, we use backslash to escape quotes, but if we want to escape the backslash, we need to add another backslash. If we want to do a new line, backslash n, carriage return, backslash r, backslash t for tab, boundaries, backslash b, and backslash f for form feed. Okay, so now for this assignment, we need to assign all the 3 lines of text into the single variable myString using escape sequences. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to start it with double quotes. Let's paste the string here. Now, when we want to do a carriage, let's do a carriage with a new line here. Maybe it's better. So new line, a tab. So let's put everything. So what I want to do is write the first line, put a new line right here, a tab, because as you can see, we want to print this second line tabbed to the right. So new line and also a tab, which you can see here that the tab is backslash t. And then I need to escape this backslash in the second line. So I'm putting a backslash before the second line backslash. Okay, now after second line, I'm going to put a backslash n for a new line and then print the third line. Okay, so as you can see right here in the console, this is being printed. So let's run this. Okay, and that's it. Let's continue. Okay, so we're going to concatenate strings with the plus operator. To concatenate strings in JavaScript, we can use just the plus operator. For example, we can concatenate these two strings. My name is Alan plus I concatenate. In our exercise, we need to build a new string from these two using the plus operator. So let's just, this is pretty easy. Let's just copy everything right here, equals to plus, and then add the second string. Okay, let's run this. Okay, nice. Let's continue with the next one. Okay, so we need to concatenate strings now using the plus equals operator. So if you remember, this was just a shorthand for adding something to the variable and then reassigning that new value to that variable. Okay, so what we can do is something like this. We declare a variable our string with a string, and then we concatenate this string but to the same variable. So we are doing what we did with numbers, only this time with strings. Let's do the exercise, we need to build this myString over several lines by concatenating these two strings. Okay, and okay, so let's start the string right here. So we assign this string to the variable, and now what we are doing is concatenating. This is the second sentence. Okay, let's hit enter here. Okay, and that's it for this exercise. So guys, I don't want this video to get too long, so I am going to end it here with basic JavaScript. In the next video, I'm going to continue with the rest of the exercises. So this series will be again about the freeCodeCamp curriculum. I suggest you go and try solve these exercises yourself first, and then come here if you want to look at my solution. Don't forget to subscribe, share, like the video. So my goal at the moment is to reach 1,000 subscribers. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.